So 1984, George Orwell's novel as a critique of religion, and how we can identify some of the points where George Orwell perhaps is very deliberately trying to make a critique of this. So let us first see the parallels which we can identify in the novel, which can be equated with a Catholic religion, and then one can use it for any of the other religions also. But prime concern here is Catholic religion there, and then we'll try to see that can this be the real meaning which George Orwell wanted to convey through this novel. The novel, by and large, is read as a political satire. Yes, as a by and large, it is not seen as such as a religious satire. It is normally seen as a political satire. There is this totalitarian government of the party, which is not named there, but it is ruled by Big Brother and other people of inner party and outer party. That is why it is there. Okay? So visibly, it is not easy to say that this is a religious satire, and rarely people talk that this novel is a religious satire. It is normally seen as a political satire only. But let us try to see, can we find some parallels in this about what we think is as the critique of the religion or not. Okay, let us see some of the points. First, here we have three super states. Yes, three super states. Which are they? Three super states. Oceania, which is where our protagonist is living. Eurasia and Eastasia. Oceania, Eurasia, and Eastasia. These are the three super states. So the world is divided in these three big countries, and they are at war with each other. And what are they? They are at war with each other. This. Now, the parallel that we can see here is with the Abrahamic religion. And there are also three: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And these three also are at war with each other. These three religions are also at war with each other. So, three super states can be seen as Abrahamic religions, which are also three there. Then there is this system of Catholic confessions. We can say there is a system of confessions which can be seen as similar to Catholic confessions. Yeah? There is this not exactly political, but we can say a sort of political confessions we can see here. Political confessions. And as we have seen in the film also, on the telescreen, there are confessions of so many traitors going on. They are confessing that they have done all kinds of crimes against the country. They have also committed sexual crimes also. So that all they keep on confessing as if they are in church and before a priest, they are confessing their crimes. So that is also there. And this idea of confession the way it is going on, for example, in case of Winston, it happens in such a way that the very process of confession is very much sacramental experience. Like there is penance, then there is mortification, there is penance, mortifications, uh, penitence, and then restoration. So any sinner, anybody who has committed a sin, like a religious process, there will be penance and penitence, then there is mortification, physical pain also is given, physical pain, mortification, and then that person is restored after he becomes pure, as if like burning in the fire of the hell, you become better. So Winston undergoes that process before he, at the end, when he says, I love Big Brother, he undergoes that hellish fire in room 101 or on the machine where he is stretched, is each and every inch of body is mortified in that process, and then it happens. So even that can be seen as this experience of sacramental things. Very clearly, we also see the words like this, we are the priests. Yes, this also O'Brien says that we are the priests. Though he says of power, wherein God is the power. Or rather say God is power. Yeah, so that is how that also very clearly the power is equated with divinity, and these people of inner party, they call themselves priests of as the religious orders have the inner party there. Then this primordial image of the God, Big Brother, is the primordial image of the God. And it is said that Big Brother is always watching you. Now, if you see this in terms of religion, it means that this watching is taking care. So, God is always watchful of you. Nothing wrong will happen to you. God is always watching you. So don't worry, God is always with you. God is always watching you. So in that it looks a very good sentence, that God is always watching me. God is always with me. That very thing you use here, Big Brother is watching you. So it is not spying over you. You're not supposed to think that Big Brother is spying over me, but Big Brother is very careful about me. He cares for me, so he's watching. So if I will stumble, he will quickly come and hold my hand. He will not allow me to fall down anywhere. So that is the watching ideas. How you can change the very definition or meaning of watching. It can become somebody who is taking care of you. As if people say, that mehuna. So that way it says that, well, mehuna. So don't worry, I am there. I am watching over you. When the need be, I will be there. When the need be, I will be there. When everything will be adharma, I will be there. So don't worry. I am very watchful about everything. So that way also it is very much a religious idea that goes into the very concept of a big brother. Then there is this structure of pyramid. Not only in the party structure, as we have seen, the party is divided into this pyramidal structure where at the top there is big brother, there is inner party, there is outer party, and then there are this 85% of proles that are there, 15% of outer inner party member, where inner party members are 2% and 30% of outer party members that are there, and that way this is the society is divided. But apart from that, there are these ministries which also have a pyramidal structure. Pyramidal structures. A pyramid which has these three angles, pyramid that is, which speaks of in religious order about Trinity. So we obviously think of the Trinity, the Christian Trinity, the God, the Son of the God, and the Holy Ghost. This is the Trinity of the Christian thing. So that is very much there. The Holy, we can say the Holy Trinity. This one can easily see into that also. Then even the rules for behavior like celibacy, marriage, children, all these things as if it is governed by the Catholic religion's ideology or the concepts. So celibacy is appreciated if you like devote your life for a party and remain unmarried, you are highly respected. So you disown your marriage if you have already married, or if you don't marry altogether and dedicate your life for the party or the religion, it is one and the same. So there are organizations with capital O, organizations where also they are in need of people who remain celibate, who remain brahmachari, they don't marry, so that each and every moment of their life is only for the organization. It is only for the party. Here it is only for the religion, where you can, there is no bondage of family as such for these people. Other people are allowed to marry. It is not that everybody should be celibate. Marriages are allowed. But then they should have a physical relation with, even with the wife, only when they want to have children, because you have to also grow the population also. You also want to have bhaktas also. Without bhakta and bhaktanis, how can you be big brother? You can't be big brother if there are no followers. So you do require children, so you allow, but the people should not have any kinds of relation, like married people also. This is like, it's not only Christian Catholic, but many religions, even in Hindu Sampradaya also, people do believe in these ideas also. So that also is what drives this thing here. Then the concept of room 101. It reminds us of Dante's Purgatorio. Purgatory, or a kind of an Inferno. So the very ministry of love, ministry of love, short form it is known as min love. The shorter form of all this thing, min love. This is this huge building which may be having multiple stories or a pyramidal structure of this building, which has, and people are many times asking that at which floor are we? Are we somewhere beneath the earth or somewhere above? There, where are we there? So this conversation reminds that in Dante's Inferno, there is an image of hell. It is like a multi-story building. And depending upon the sins that people have committed, their souls are located. And then they will move upward towards heaven, slowly and still. So at the bottom of that Inferno, at the bottom of this Inferno, there is Lucifer, there is fire, and there is Lucifer in this fire. So the most damned souls, the damned souls are located in the fire at the bottom, and then others may be somewhere located in between, depending upon this. And then this after redemption, in this, after going through the painful process of penance and penitence, those souls will fly towards heaven. So those souls are saved. The damned souls remain in the fire at the bottom. So that image or Dante's Inferno, that also seems to be of ministry of love, this building. And in that, this room is a kind of Lucifer's space. O'Brien is a kind of a Lucifer, who is the right hand of Satan, who is the right hand of Satan. And as in Dr. Faustus also we have seen, he is there who comes to have conversation with Dr. Faustus. And Mephistopheles comes for that, for Lucifer. The same way O'Brien here for this. So this also we can see that how this works. And as in this, the function of this was to purify the soul. Yes, it was to purify the soul. What is the purpose of room 101? It is to purify, or let us say purge, mind, memory. That is the function of this also. So in this context, in this way, we find there are so many parallels in the novel which takes us slightly away from a political satire towards a religious satire, or a kind of what we call it as a critique of religion also, more specifically that of Catholic religion. But if we look at minutely, maybe all the religions of the world may become a part of this critique which is presenting here. And when we see this, it is not like coming on assumption coming from air, from thin air. These arguments are not made. If you want to think that George Orwell really meant this meaning also, if you want to prove this, that this is not the parallel or comparison given out of nothing, but George Orwell also wanted that people should read this novel in this context also. Then, if you want to prove that, then we also have to prove something else, that George Orwell was actively involved in all these things also. That becomes necessary. So we find that in several of the works, George Orwell has very openly written against church. If I read a few lines from this, despite having written 6 fiction novels, 3 long works of reportage and many other things, Animal Farm in 1984 and lots of other essays, normally people consider him as somebody who is talking about political satires. That is the normal way of looking at George Orwell. However, while this style, his style of writing and all this thing which made him famous into the political arenas, Orwell's criticism of other social factors has all but been forgotten, especially his distaste, his distaste for Catholicism. Though he was raised in Anglican faith, though he was raised as a child in Anglican faith, by the end of his lifetime, Orwell identified closer with atheism and turned a critical eye towards organized Christianity. Critically, he started looking at the organized religions like Christianity. Many critics also, we will see some of the references where also we will see that people have identified this also, like John Rawdon. Yes, John Rodden, if you see, Orwell on religion, the Catholic and Jewish questions. This is a very interesting way of putting the titles. People put this word, falana tikna question. And then that falana tikna will be troubled a lot when those titles are given, and there is only way that you have to ban those things. Those people cannot do any other thing about banning. But that is a normal way that people put the things there. The Catholic and Jewish questions, which John Rodden has also said. Once a professor at the University of Virginia and the University of Texas has written a variety of material about George Orwell. In this piece of writing, he recounts how Orwell told a fellow Etonian classmate that he was a subscriber to the Catholic press so that he may see what the enemy is up to. He was writing for Catholics so he can see what enemy is up to. So, if you want to study somebody, you have to read them thoroughly. You have to write for them also. You have to understand them thoroughly. So, he said this, that I was writing for them to see this. In the same way, his own essay, let me see if it is there. Yeah, this one. Such were the joys. Essay written by George Orwell. Such were the joys. In this essay also, Orwell thinks reflexively about his time in primary school, stating, till the age of about 14, says in the another, this is one example, another one, till the age of 14 years, he said in that essay, such were the joys, therein he writes, I believed in God. I believed in God and believed that the accounts given of him were true also. Everything that is told to us about God is absolutely true. But I was well aware that I did not love him. Though I believed things may be true, but I did not love God. He writes in that essay when he was 14 years of age also. On the contrary, he says, on the contrary, I hated him. Just as I hated Jesus. Just as I hated Jesus. That is what he writes in the essay. So we get a proof. So this evidences are necessary when we make argument. So if when we compare and we assume or we interpret something, if we are not able to give evidence, then our assumption or interpretations are limited to only our reading only. We can't take it further. So this becomes that you have to prove by some extra reading or finding some evidences that what you are trying to prove. Is there any other evidence that you can stand strong on that? So here is that where he clearly wrote this, that even though I believed in him, I thought that everything that is said about God is true, but I never loved him. I hated Jesus. It would be fair or say part of Orwell's hatred for the church stemmed from his miserable time at the primary school when he was a child. As I told you earlier also, that when you teach religion, students start hating religion. When something becomes part of syllabus, it doesn't remain something that people keep on loving those things. So one should be very careful before introducing religion as a syllabus books. People will not like because you are tested on that, you fail in that. And anything where we fail, we dislike that. So if we fail in God, then we will dislike God. So that is what perhaps happens with him, that when he studies this. Then, however, it is generally agreed upon the Orwell's scorn towards Christianity solidified during the Spanish Civil War, about which this homage to Catalonia. Let me see if it is there. Homage to Catalonia. No, maybe in this literature and totalitarianism, it might be this. Okay? This in this which was written at the time, the Catholic Church was. See, what was the reason that he found that then church, when Spanish civil war is going on, there is a dictator and the people are fighting against the dictator. At that time, the church was collaborating with fascist government. Well, many of us will find that what is new in this. It is a very normal thing. Pick up any religious Baba, and he will always be with this kind of governments. It is like not surprising at all that what has changed in this many years, even after whatever George Orwell has written, what one can still see into that. So he says this that this because church was collaborating with fascist governments of Italy and Spain due to its vehement opposition to socialism and democratic ideology. As an advocate for democratic socialism, as an advocate for democratic socialism and a veteran of the Spanish Civil War, Orwell began to view the church as its own authoritarian regime. And this is this quote which I have said is written by Hill, Patricia Hill, Religion and Myth in Orwell's 1984. In this work, Patricia Hill is writing this that he started viewing church as an authoritarian regime. In the same way, he believed those worshipping the church were succumbing to a fad of power worshipping. Those who are worshipper of God, they can easily fall to power worshipping. And that is where the concern. So once we got that, like our spine easily bends down to somebody, easily is able to do shastang pranam to somebody, it will do to anybody. That is the fear. Once we made the habit with our body to bow down, perhaps that bowing down will continue. That's why many times people, some teachers say that never bow down. No student should bow down to teachers. Never have that habit of bowing down. પગે ક્યારે લાગવાનો જ નહીં, ભૂલે ચૂકે નહીં. એ આદત જ ખોટી, પગમાં પડવાની, પગે લાગવાની, or bowing down. આ સ્પાઇન ને એક વખત આપણે એમ ઝૂકેલી બનાવીએ પછી ઊભી ન રહે. It is very tough to make spine stronger once it get habit. So once people get this habit of worshipping from anything, then you replace the person, we will be worshippers. You can easily become a bhakta of anybody if we have a habit of being bhakta of anybody else also. That was the concern with George Orwell. So in the same way, he believed those worshipping the church were succumbing to a fad of power worshipping or idolizing those with power, opposed to the morals and ethics of the institution wielding that power. This is Rodden. Rodden observes this. Rodden John, Orwell and the Religion. That is where he said this, idolizing power also. We start. You replace one murti with another murti. And it is very easy also, not very difficult to start worshipping the human being if we have a habit of worshipping any other idol. In this way, it would be appropriate for Orwell to label the Catholic Church as an enemy to socialism. So this way, he speaks about this, and apart from that, there is also a reference in what we call it as this Animal Farm also. In Animal Farm, also there is character Moses. Most of you might have studied animal farm. So Moses, and there is the sugar candy mountain. Sugar candy mountain and Moses, and which very directly refers to the Christian Moses who gave 10 commandments, and the sugar candy mountains are the celestial mountains. Over the plain of the mountains there is heaven, there is celestial city, Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress, and that comes over there. But the sugar candy is also a lollipop which people keep on mumbling in the mouth like something they will get out of those things, or a kind of a dangling carrot also. So with this reference, we say that this novel has a very interesting potential to alarm us against religions also, or worshipping in religion, or how the practices of religions can also be anti-democratic also. How it can be anti-democratic, that also we can get, and these are some of the references from which we can talk about this also. Even this article by John Haldane, Catholicism and the Meaning of Human Sexuality, by Princeton University Press also is there, which we can see here also. So this is what we call it as a critic of religion, 1984, as a critic of religion also, along with the religion of politics also.